Working, maybe, hello? Okay. All right, so this is the meeting of both the Historic District Commission and the Historic Commission of May 19th. So we'll call to order. We have a quorum of both groups present. Let me just pull this up. We have meeting minutes. Christina sent out minutes for the Historic District. If anybody get a chance to look at them. So it's the minutes of January 13th, 2025, February 10th, 2025, and April 22nd, 25.
You have any issues with them?
I didn't. I very briefly scanned them, so maybe let me just check one more
When did she
time.
send them?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
I didn't either.
No.
She sent them.
Oh,
To
she
the
just
town
did
email.
the historic district, so
Yeah, just the district, I think, so
It's
she
just the
sent it to
district.
us.
is she recording for
If
the?
you're on the district.
I'm on district.
Oh, yeah.
So am I.
Yeah.
Probably nothing added to the,
I'm gonna
why not?
check. Because then I forwarded them to Ruth, Jane, and
Yeah.
Oh,
Hazel,
right.
because I know they don't always get there. Can't find her email now, great.
Need a motion?
Here are the minutes. She sent to Historic District Commission, which should be Dan, Deb, Jane. Oh, cool. Well, apparently they didn't add you to that list. So I don't know if you want to, okay, approving these, if you want to wait, or
Wait,
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, can you send them right now?
I can.
we can just do that later on.
Right,
We
yeah.
send it right now.
Right.
Move right on, so.
We'll move on to this.
I'll follow up with World Band on that. Maybe we never,
Isn't that World Band's responsibility to
Yeah.
add the new?
it's kind of, you know, I think it's because we added the other one, it probably, like, it didn't even occur to me.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, that's good to know. All right, well, I sent them. So then so the main thing on the agenda is a public hearing for 14 Maple Street. So maybe we'll get that done since those people are here. So I guess I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for 14 Maple Street. If someone wants to second that,
I second that.
and then all those in favor, I guess. I won't necessarily read the whole thing. It's a public hearing for the local historic district for a certificate of appropriateness for exterior renovations, including replacing siding, windows, doors, and installing fencing at 14 Maple Street, blah, blah, blah. Public hearing is scheduled for May 19th at 7 p.m. to take place in the town hall. We did not receive any emails or written comments. I believe there's some people here as well as the applicants. So I guess probably the thing to do would be to start with the applicant if they want to go through and talk about what they're looking to do. And the one thing I would just add to is it probably would make sense to go through, they have like several requests, it makes sense to go through each one of those requests.
Like one at a time, yeah.
Once they present the project.
So, hi, so my name's Nick Valori. I had purchased 14 Maple Street, maybe about a month and a half ago at this point in time. And my goal is to renovate it. We're gutting out the inside as we've already got the permit for that. Some of you may have driven by, seen the gutting, and there was no insulation in there, horsehair plaster. We're gutting everything out from putting new plumbing in, new electrical, new everything. The goal is to now talk to you guys about the exterior. Replacing the windows. Those windows are very old, not originals. So we're replacing those windows. I want to remove the siding. I don't know if it's asbestos siding or not, but it's definitely not original from the 18th century. So my goal is to put white vinyl siding up. Giving a joke of what I'm going to say to you, but That house is very stately looking, so putting white siding up will almost look like the White House. There are 3 doors in the front of the house. I would like to remove the middle of the 3 doors, as it looks like that door was inserted at some point in time after the original build.
So this where my cursor is the one you're looking to get rid of.
We will replace that door, just button it up. We'll get rid of the step that is from the ground level going up to the door. And if there's any overhangs, we will get rid of that also. So it'll be flush, so there'll be 2 doors in the front of the house, one in the center of the house, right, okay, you wanna move it over?
Where?
Right there, yeah, no, right,
Over here.
no,
Oh, this one.
right there, yeah, that's the main door. And the door on the other side to the right, that door will stay also. The door to the right is, for lack of a better term, the steps that go up to the 2nd floor. So that door will stay. And on the opposite side of the house, the back of the house, there are 2 doors there. One right there, as you can see with the steps, and then one to the far left. For lack of a better term, both doors walk straight through to the other door. So the middle door that I'm asking to get rid of definitely was not an original door that was there. Any questions on the removal of the door?
Do you have any old pictures of the
I wanna
house
find-
originally, or the old pictures?
I don't have any pictures of that, no.
I don't know, maybe while I'm looking here. There's one picture that I was able to find, and I don't know, Kathy, if you're on, if she was able to find anything else. I'm not even sure. Just open the picture, why is this so?
Dan, I did not find any additional pictures.
So while we're looking at the pictures, as I stated, I'd like to put white vinyl. Oh, there's a picture.
So this picture, before I zoom, this is circa 1900, and it does seem to show those 3 doors.
Yeah,
But-
and I, you know, the corbels, the old wooden corbels are all the same on all doors. So it's likely, I mean, it was there in 1900. It was the house built in,
1850.
1850 or so we say, right, maybe 1850. But at 1900, somebody added that door. And really anything in that era, we're working to protect, right? And so the rear of the house, I don't really, were you asking to do something on the rear as well?
No, I was trying to make a comparison
Yeah,
that the rear of the house has got 2 doors, exact same locations as the front of the house.
right.
And that one door is just such a miscellaneous door. If you walk into the house, it goes into a room.
Would have been the living room?
Definitely.
Tree.
If you want to argue anything that's going to shoot myself in the foot when I say this, if anything, you can argue the fact it was a mud room. But there were no such thing as mud rooms back then.
Right.
And when you walked into either one of those doors, in the front of the house, you're either going into the main door to go into the main house, or you're going into the far right door, which is gonna take you to the 2nd floor. So that middle door,
So what are you gonna replace it with, a matching window, is that the plan?
I'm just gonna fill it.
You're just gonna fill it, you're not gonna put any?
Fill it, nobody's gonna know it was even there, because we're gonna put the vinyl siding there. My hardscaper right here will get rid of the cement slab that they have there.
I wonder, would it make sense if I get this from rotating?
Why don't you go to the MLS listing, if you wanna look at the,
I'm wondering if it would make sense to put a window there so it would be symmetrical instead of having a blank space, but. Pictures, I don't know what's on there for that, but.
Are you gonna put vinyl siding on the front of it also?
Want to vinyl the whole house, nice white vinyl.
You know, so that's,
Like I said, so it looks very stately.
wasn't listening for those. So it's covered like a bush in this one, it's on the inside.
I don't know what I would call vinyl, I'm just using a little bit of humor here, stately.
Well,
Right.
you know, we look at,
It's like, listen,
Yeah.
the White House is not vinyl, right?
you know, it looks like it.
It's a beautiful house, but I would, you know, we're trying really hard to deter vinyl in the district. And I feel like, you know, when the Dudleys had come to us about their house, you know, they,
What the stipulation.
yeah, like they understood that that's what they, you know, they wanted to do vinyl.
But
But
And I understand what you're saying,
Mhm.
but we have to take a look at, number one, all around, all the houses around that property have vinyl.
they were built after.
When we created the district, yeah, so,
Additionally, the house is 200 yards into the,
Yeah.
off the main street.
It's still
And
a
now-
historical house.
What's that, please?
It's still a historical house.
in the district,
I'm not disagreeing that it's a historical house, that's not what I'm saying, I'm just trying, look, at the end of the day, my opinion, and again, you guys are the bosses here, what we have on there is the quote-unquote asbestos siding,
go down to the.
and anything is gonna make the house look a heck of a lot better than the asbestos siding, if it's asbestos, let's just
Mhm.
call it that.
Mhm.
So if we're gonna be associating anything, I think anything we put on there is gonna look a heck of a lot better than the siding that's there. So if we wanna go over and say it's a historic house, I agree with you 100%. But what is on there has nowhere close to being
So
historic.
that was put on a long time before.
I understand that, I'm not trying to be argumentative, I'm just trying to go over and point out the facts, because the facts is, I agree with you, it is a historic house, without a doubt. And I'm just trying to bring it back to something that looks good, and we wanna talk about what looks good. What it looks like right now with the siding that's there, even if we paint it, it's still not gonna look good. That asbestos siding looks terrible. We can paint it whatever color you want, it's always gonna look terrible.
No one's arguing that the asbestos, it has to stay by any means. I think, you know, we understand that you wanna encapsulate the asbestos, totally get it. And
If it's asbestos, we're not even.
yeah, sure.
One of my other rental properties I had,
Did you have it tested?
Yeah.
And it came back negative?
it was not asbestos.
I see a lot of asbestos siding, but it's, you know, again, I'm not an inspector, so I'm not gonna sit here and say that it does look an awful lot like it, so. But we don't have to call it that, but if you wanted to encapsulate the siding, you know, again, as a district, which was created in what, 17, 18?
Yeah.
2018? Since then, since we created it,
17, yeah.
we've been working to encourage homeowners making changes in the district to use a different siding than vinyl, right? And so what we did on the Dudley's house was we made a compromise and we said, street facing, put on clapboard. On the back, on the sides and the back, if you wanna put on the vinyl, put on the vinyl. But on that facade, that's visible from the roadway, and I understand your back a little bit, still is visible.
Still is visible.
If we could come to a compromise, you could do cedar clapboard, hardy board, if anything else that you guys, any other material you wanna propose. But if there's a way we could come to a compromise and say, all right, let's talk about at least doing something on front.
I'm gonna have to let my contractor here talk about that, but financially, I don't think that I'm gonna be able to afford to do it. What it's costing me to do the inside, which is all new electrical, all new plumbing, all new everything. I'm gonna ask that the historic board take some consideration as to what's going on. And I appreciate this was just started in, 8 years ago, the historic board, but there is vinyl siding everywhere around that property.
And
New
as,
development
and you know what, and honestly, the
Just asking
post
for some
office
consideration,
building,
yeah.
when he came to us,
Mhm.
you know, Tim Icardi, I'm sure, Tim wanted to put on vinyl. Tim was the building inspector at the time, Tim understood that it wasn't gonna work, right?
Yeah.
And so he respected it and he put on the cedar.
I get
We
it.
kept cedar.
I am, again, well, let's just argue the fact, 100 yards back.
I guess what I'm saying is, how is it that we can that we can maintain our district when other people come forward and they say, well, you let this guy do this, right? So, and he did it, so why can't I? And so if we're to continue on as a district, we have to be able to put our foot down with some of this stuff. And so when you say that, you know, there's financial hardship, well, I mean, you also, as a buyer, you take on the due diligence when you purchase a house and you knew the home was in a historic district.
I'm only trying to make the property better. If the,
Oh, and I respect that, and I think we all appreciate that.
if the answer is, Nick, there's no vinyl siding, that's fine, I'll just paint it. And then you guys will, you'll get what you want, which is I'm not putting vinyl siding on the exterior. As a property owner that had, one of my rental properties had this type of siding, no matter what color I painted it, it looked terrible. And I'm happy to keep it like that.
I'm not proposing that you keep the probably asbestos siding, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying if we can come to a compromise that works out a little bit better than throwing vinyl on the whole thing.
Why couldn't the front facade be, you know, made according to our specifications?
I appreciate that, Miss, but, you know, unfortunately, my pockets only run so deep.
But how much is just the front facade gonna cost you that much more than aluminum siding?
Bill, can you talk on that, please?
Depends on, 450, if you're going with the, $450 a square if you're going with the hardy or the clapboard, if you're going nicely. The vinyl is like $190, it's a big difference in
So
price.
clapboard costs as much as hardy board?
Pretty much, it's a labor. Yeah. And
I only asked because when I built my house and we were trying to, you know, work within budget, it was a lot cheaper to do the cedar.
Yeah.
Clapboard.
Now you're gonna, how would you finish it? That it
You
all.
get painted, yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
You've got to.
Just like you have to paint hardy board usually
Yes.
now.
If the labor adds up, this is what the market rates are going up, I'm not making it up, but that,
Yeah,
and, I'm just a neutral guy here.
yeah, listen.
But, you guys know what the difference is between hardy and the vinyl. 90% of people walking on the street don't even know that. I do this.
So
every
what
day.
grade of vinyl are you proposing?
That's a great question, but I suggest Nick can choose, there is a different grades on that, there's a really cheap one and there's a much better one.
I know, so I'm a real estate broker, so I see all different types of houses all the time. I understand the low grade vinyl,
Yeah.
I understand the high grade
High
vinyl.
grade.
It's great, a lot of people love it. I don't blame you for wanting it. The only issue is where we stand, we represent the district.
Mhm.
And so I get where you're coming from 100%. If I was turning a house right now and I wasn't in the district, I'd put vinyl on it too. But I have to be here to represent the district. I'm not here to talk about values and everything
So
like that.
what if we went over and we put the cedar shake vinyl?
Kathy also has, I don't know, this
Shakes.
Kathy,
I had,
based on correction.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah,
So I had two questions. I am curious to know why you haven't done any investigating as to whether or not that is asbestos siding and what is underneath the siding. And I am also a property owner in the district as well. And although, you know, when we purchased in the district, it was knowing that there were rules and regulations that we needed to follow to maintain the integrity of the district. And I think when you buy in the district, you have to at least absorb and know and understand that those are kind of the ground rules for, you know, buying in there. So again, I'm curious to know why you haven't done any investigating on the siding.
So thank you, Kathy, for asking the question. My answer to you is that I was more concerned with getting the interior of the house started. and I knew we had to come to this event and make this presentation. So whether it's asbestos or not, to me, it's irrelevant, because it's up there. My goal was to come here and try to either cover it up with the vinyl to make it look better. If the answer is we cannot, I will just paint it, and whether it's asbestos or not, it's irrelevant, because it's already there. But I'm happy to do whatever you guys are asking me to do to be compliant, but whether it's asbestos or not, I don't know what the relevance is.
Do you wanna,
Just
that's-
what is underneath that siding?
so
Any-
Kathy, are you,
Any
Kathy?
investigating? Yeah,
Kathy, so we've got a picture, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the old property, this is circa 1900. You can see that it has, when Dan zooms in, you can see the clapboard siding on it, so definitely we're gonna call it the maybe asbestos, cause it's, I don't think that's, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you have asbestos. That was definitely put on, my guess is it was put on, 30s, 40s, maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And, also my guess is that they put it on because the house wasn't insulated and it was a great insulator at the time, so,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Are you planning to live there or are you living it?
I'm planning on renting it.
You're gonna own it and rent it?
That's the goal.
It's currently a two-family,
I know,
yeah.
but it-
If this was underneath and was in any salvageable condition, but at this point, who knows, or if they just ripped it down and re-sided it, or.
yeah, I mean, I
I'm not
believe
gonna
it.
sit here and tell him to rip down the asbestos siding, because that's a whole,
Right.
Yeah.
and I'm not, I mean, that's up to you, if you guys wanna push that, but that,
So at the end of the day, if this is an issue, I'm happy to leave the asbestos siding on there and I'll just paint it and we'll just move on.
This is what's visible from the street from here. I did confirm, so this driveway next to the post office is not a public way. Standing from the public way, this front facade is visible, and then he said if you go to the corner, you can see the other
yeah,
side.
like when you're parked down at like Serenity and over there, you can see the side of the building.
Google doesn't give you a whole lot.
You know what I mean, the lower post office parking lot.
These trees are all,
But I'm happy to leave the siding up there and just paint it. If it's gonna be that much of an issue, I'm happy to leave it. I was just trying to beautify the property in the historic district that we have here.
So what are your plans with the windows?
I was just putting brand new windows in it.
Are you gonna do like a 6/6 vinyl?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's hard to see. I mean, it looks like in this picture, 1, 2, 3, so that's what was there, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's fine.
and you said that the windows that are currently there are not original. They've already been changed at some point,
Yes.
so, okay.
I can only assume.
Yeah,
And I think holding the answer of yes is,
Looks like.
Some of them
It
look
looks like-
original, but I mean, so 6/6, you're gonna do probably like the vinyl with on the true divide, it's not a true divided light, but the panes on the inside of the window, is that what you're thinking?
You prefer,
That's what I'm saying, is that what you're doing,
exactly,
something
so
like
I
that,
think
with
the
the
neck one,
inside?
if you wanted like the,
Or are you talking about the kind that pop out from the inside?
no.
Okay, so like that, yeah, okay.
these are garbage windows, hopefully not these ones. And I think that's in line with what's been permitted in other places.
So I think if you guys,
I think,
so I think we can move on from windows, is what you're saying, is a 6/6
If
vinyl?
if that is, as long as the historic commission is okay with that, I am happy to do that.
I just want to make notes.
Does anybody have any questions about the windows?
Kathy, do you have any?
No, I don't, sorry.
Do you guys wanna talk about the fence?
We want to do there was a garage door too.
Oh. Alright,
Close that out. I think, I don't even know.
So the garage door is like not high on my agenda at this point in time.
Yeah,
So
I just, if you're
wanted
gonna do it, you might as well, I mean, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, let me share this again, just to make sure we're talking about the right thing. Just so it's this building in the back, garage door,
There's two garage doors. There's that building and the one in the front.
this
right
thing.
here.
Yeah,
So I don't know if we have any thoughts, I mean, this one, none of that was original, I don't think, right?
No, and it's not really, that's not really visible from.
Yeah, so that's not
the-
visible, that's true, this one probably, I'm looking at the picture, probably not, yeah,
If it is, it's from down around the corner, but Google Street View is not really gonna help you
yeah,
there.
it's all zoom blocked
So
out.
like if you were,
So I mean, then I think I'm not overly concerned about the garage doors.
no, unless anybody else is. Is anybody concerned about the garage doors?
I'm not concerned about the siding.
Yeah,
And then what else was on
The fence,
the fencing, yeah.
so the idea of the fence is, I gotta be honest, I don't even know where the property line is.
Here,
So I'm probably gonna have to get a.
probably gonna want a survey
Yeah.
before you put that in.
I'm probably gonna get I know I wanna get a survey, okay, so I appreciate that, that only does so much.
this is on the tax map, so this gets you close.
Yeah, so you'll get your markers when you get it surveyed, but you know, I know you wanna do a 6-foot privacy fence encompassing the property. I'm gonna say right now that I'm adamantly not
That's
going to
fine.
agree with that from the front side. Anyway, I totally get the back and maybe the side here. What
Yeah, so this is this, let me zoom out again, this is this driveway that goes all the way through to the housing. So this is all a private,
that's yeah, so,
so I think, you know, again, I think our standard is what's visible from the public way. You know, I think in the entire district, there are no privacy fences in front of any property whatsoever. There are ones in the back. You know, so I think in thinking about what's visible versus what's in the back,
why don't you zoom in on?
But guys, I have to ask you a question.
this one,
This
so
pro-
there's a fence on this picture.
Right, but this property is on a, for lack of a better term, a private way, so it's secluded from the main road. So I appreciate everything you're saying, so all the other houses that are there, I appreciate what you're saying, and then even the 2 lots that are behind mine, that there's nothing built on it, right? I don't understand how though, if once somebody builds on those houses, at some point in time, there will be a building. Okay? I understand it's a historic district, but it's nowhere on the main road where historic districts really come into play.
So unfortunately, the house is in the historic district. When the district was created, if everybody felt like this house should be excluded, that would have been a different story. The house would have been excluded, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it is in the district, and so there's a reason why we're here today.
No, I
And
agree,
it is visible, in the front, even if it's not as visible as maybe a couple houses down, right? But it is still visible, and it is visible on the sides too. And in the wintertime, it's even more visible on the sides. So we're here to encourage you to not put a 6-foot privacy fence on the front anyway. And I don't know what your feelings are, everybody else, on the sides on this side of it, not the other side, on
Let's see.
the
I
side.
think on the sides that show, I'd be
I mean,
against
he's
it.
got stuff there, it's this spot here that doesn't seem to.
So can I ask you a quick question?
So what I did when I had to put in a fence, is I did on the front of my property, it's like a 3-rail, and there is a side that I privacy fence, cause you know, you don't wanna like hang out with your neighbors all the time, right? And I get that, but like from the street view, it is, especially in the district, it's a little bit, well, one, the whole idea is that the front of the house is visible from the street view, that's what makes it the district. And people love it, and there's charm to it, and that's what we're trying to maintain, so we're not trying to hide the house, and I get that you're gonna have tenants, and I get that.
And that's part of the reason of the
But
privacy.
tenants don't need to be hidden from the street view, you know, so I don't think that you're, you know, and this is just my opinion, but I don't think that you're gonna lose interest because you don't have a privacy fence in front of the house.
I'm not worried about losing interest at all.
Okay,
The reason for the privacy fence is nothing more than, I hate to say it, how big the house is and people living there. Okay, there's
I
gonna
don't
be,
understand that.
please,
I don't understand that.
well, as we talked, there's 8 bedrooms, 10 bedrooms in that property, however many it is. Okay, you can have a good amount of cars. So instead of having a big parking lot of cars and historic district seeing all the cars out there, because they're gonna see it. It's all enclosed.
Yeah, but I mean,
Everything
you're
about-
not, it's only a two-family, so what is there's a certain amount of vehicles that are allowed down
Well, I don't
certain
know,
properties,
as
right?
a two-family house, it's all based upon bedrooms. Now, again, I'm not by any code that I know of, but I believe it's, what is it, 2.5 cars per household? So we're looking at least 5 cars. And this gentleman right here is self-employed and he has his own work truck. So that would be his wife, him, his kid, and his work truck all living there. So that's essentially 4 cars. So the cars do add up when you are self-employed, you have a work vehicle.
A commercial vehicle,
Yeah, it's like my neighbor, right? My neighbor's a contractor. He has his car, his wife's car, his
usually
kid's
they don't
car.
allow commercial vehicles in residential areas, right, sometimes.
Well, we're not talking about backhoe here, we're talking about pickup truck.
I think my point being that I get what you're saying about having the vehicles, you know, and I've had a multifamily before. And, there are 4 or 5 cars out there, but still wasn't a need for privacy fence out front. And again, I understand that everybody, wants to do their own thing, but we're here to represent the district. And I really feel like street facing is.
All I can do is ask. So the fact, if you guys, everything you say no to me on, it's saving me money. Right, because the property's on a 1.5 acre lot of land.
Could you just do like a split rail fence in front and then have it connect to the privacy of that?
Sure, I can do that, in the front.
Is it possible to accomplish what you want with landscaping in the front where, I mean, at least it's a little more.
Well, the
Landscaping, that's a lot of money if you want to go down the landscape.
Quite frankly, the landscaping, I'm cutting down all those bushes in front of the house, so you're gonna see the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everything I'm doing to this property is gonna be beautifying it.
Split rail.
Where is
And
parking gonna
This,
be?
yeah,
Where it is now,
that's all we have.
Where is it now?
in the behind house.
Behind the house?
Yes.
Oh, so that's good.
Yeah, so that's good.
Do you wanna put it up on the?
And the family that lived there before, I mean, in the end, there was only one woman living there, but then previously, they were a whole family with kids and cars and.
So,
Yeah, but it wasn't until probably, let's call a spade, the mid-1990s, when kids started having cars. So I don't know how long until there was real families living in that house.
Well, they had 3 sons that were like my kids' ages, so that would be the 60s.
Again, I appreciate your statement, but it wasn't until the mid-90s that kids actually had cars. So the fact of the matter is, from 1995, I graduated in 96, so we'll say in 1996, I had a car and most kids had cars going to high school. So now the 2.5, 3.5, I had a sister, so we had 5 cars in my family. All right, so I'm not sure I can agree with what you're saying on that aspect of, there were 3 boys living in there in the 60s. Well, people didn't have multiple cars in the 60s.
what is?
Would you agree
Yeah.
or no?
I don't know how that.
I haven't, but I
Kathy,
just don't.
Kathy, do you have something to add?
what's?
Yeah, so you have the potential for 3 parking spots in garage. So the necessity for a fence all the way around the property seems very trivial. And I'm wondering if you could just fence in a parking area and not the entire property. Because I think what you're doing is you're definitely detracting from the beauty of the property by burying it in a fence. I mean, I think that's kind of against everything you try to achieve in a historic district.
We can take the fence totally out, guys.
What if we just did, what if we
Again, I'm
just
trying to beautify, and I'm surprised everybody is looking at this house right now, that it's beautiful. It's completely run down. The landscaping is totally overgrown. There is nothing that makes that property where it is right now at all beautiful. And if it stays the way it is, it looks terrible.
No, I
Renovate it anyway.
appreciate
Well, the
you.
inside's gonna be.
I appreciate you beautifying the property. I think we're all happy to see someone take that house and transform it. It needs it. I don't disagree with you there, I just think that the whole purpose of the historic district is that you don't, like she says, you're not blocking the property from the street. And so for the front of the property,
I've already said that I'll do the gated fence just like they have over there. I don't know why we're continuing the conversation. That's why you guys said you had what I call a regular traditional fence in the front of the house. I'm happy to do that.
alright, throw it down in the notes
But then do
Yeah.
all around it.
No, but
I
we'll
just,
stop talking about
I
it,
just wanna put.
let's just stop talking about it,
Well, we gotta make sure we're
do
clear.
fence.
I don't wanna put it, I don't wanna spend the money and have this gentleman here put it all up and then you guys send me a letter in the mail that's gonna come down.
We're specifying
No, I
right
think-
now.
yeah, I think We're fine with, I think if you're willing to do this in the front and then the back, I think is up to you, because it's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you wanna do the privacy fence in the back,
I think that's.
So let's
And
Definitely,
identify.
I've done it
front
other places in
side.
the
So
district.
we're talking the back of the house where the housing authority is, and then the right side of the house all the way to the front, is that fair?
So we're sorry, hang on, so we would, let me find, some of the property map. So.
can you mark it up on that, take a screenshot and mark it up,
I
Dan?
actually think I can draw on this fancy thing, so you wanna do a fence, oh, come on, how do I?
Yeah, right there. Yeah,
Let's let's do that,
and then all the way up,
so all the way, this whole thing,
and then all the way up.
and then, get rid of that.
And then I'll put the other fence, right, from the top left, all the way to the top right,
Yeah. Here,
and then all the way down. Not all the way down, pardon me,
right to
to
the
the driveway.
driveway is, yeah. So the front corner, with this box, this would be the shorter
Correct.
fence that matches the store picture, and in the back, you would do the privacy fence, which is not really visible, so that's, I think that's,
Do you wanna just mark, can you take a screenshot and
I'll
mark that
do
up
this,
so
yeah,
that-
I'll make this cleaner.
That's fine,
I'll figure out how to clarify that when it's in the recording.
okay,
And I also want to be clear that, and I know Dan, we spoke about this, Deborah.
Yeah.
And Dan and Deb, we talked about this, we toured the property on Good Friday, thank you for coming out on Good Friday, by the way. That I can clear the landscaping, because the landscaping is completely overgrown.
we, as a district, we can't say, I mean, obviously, there are some beautiful trees there, but I'd be sad to see go, but we have no,
Yeah, no, like
Say
the
over
flowering
any-
trees, I'm gonna leave up there, but there's some pine trees that are overgrown, there are weeds that have grown into trees in there.
yeah, we don't have any say about,
Okay, as
Um,
long as we can get that done. That's fine.
unless Kathy says something, you know, in regards to the commission or any other department in town.
No, I think,
As a district, we can't,
All right,
you know, if
And
any-
then-
what was the tree we were in, I mean,
the front right, you were taught, the issue was that tree right there. No, back where you were.
yeah, I'm gonna get a better view that, I think, this is a cool.
So that tree,
I think he wanted to
These
get
trees
rid
that
of
are,
those big, beautiful trees.
it's not that, well, you gotta remember, guys, but I appreciate they're big and beautiful, but I pointed out that there are chains
Yeah, when it's
holding
splitting.
up those trees.
yeah,
Now, those trees are also over the electrical wires. Now, I'm not at all an intelligent person. But the fact of the matter is, I would imagine if National Grid drove by, they would say that those trees have to come down because they're more of a problem than anything else.
yeah, Kathy,
What about our tree,
Just to-
warden checking it out?
Perfect, I'd love to have a tree warden come there and he can prune whatever he wants.
well, if they're private property, he'll have no say over them. So this Staples tree, just confirming, let me get this to share, this tree is long gone, correct?
And the tree warden come to my house.
Yeah, the Staples album on.
This elm tree, this is not the trees we're talking about.
I don't think,
I mean, this is the part of the house, so you
Yeah.
know
That-
this
that's
is
no-
here.
that thing is enormous.
I mean, I'm assuming these trees all died out.
yeah, no, what we're talking, he's talking about trees on the side.
But it's not even this tree, I'm just making sure we're not talking about a tree that could,
Neither one of those trees.
those are long gone.
You'd have to have somebody else out to look at the
Yeah.
trees,
But I'm happy to have the tree warden go out there, and the tree, I will
Maybe
give
he'd be
the,
willing to do that.
I'm sure you'd be happy, I can,
And give us
you know.
opinion.
give
no,
you
I don't
something.
need, you can have the tree warden cut what he thinks needs to cut down, from the tree that's over the electrical wires, and even taking into consideration that there are chains holding up the tree.
I don't think they're holding them up, I think the tree's growing over them.
Well, they
Exactly
probably
what
did
that-
the
I
same
mean,
But
branches.
the chains were there to hold the limbs up
Yeah.
because they were not safe back then.
Definitely. No, I think, but yeah, the historic district has no say over landscaping.
But I'm okay with the historic district telling me what they would like and what they wouldn't like. I'm okay with that. I just wanna make the property clean.
And I think,
I
it
think
sounds, the
you're,
request is if there's any way to save those trees, that would be great, but if they're too far gone, you may have to do what's best to,
as a property owner, to maintain your property.
I think that's fair.
Kathy, have a question?
Oh yeah, Kathy,
No, I'm good. I'm good. I was just gonna advocate for, I mean, even if those were, Dan, I think my question to you is, the private way, is that the Milford Housing Authority?
I know, so here, let me share the map.
There's a separate road that goes to the housing authority, and the road, the driveway that I'm on, again, is the private way,
Hang on.
it's actually a dirt road.
No, oh, I understand. I'm very familiar with the location. Who is the owner? Who takes ownership of that? Is it part of the Milford Housing Authority?
The
road.
I have no idea.
I asked John
Is that
Dudley
your
if this was a public way, and he said, no, I don't believe they might plow this a little bit for the post office, but maybe not. Housing has their own driveway, so I don't know, we'd have to check the deeds and see if your deed
Yeah.
includes this, or is it part of this
Yeah.
property? The housing authority, so.
See on your.
My only addition to that is that there are plans that were submitted to extend from between numbers, oh shoot, I can't even see, sorry. Between One Maple and, I don't know what number remained, but that wedge there between the post office and
Yes.
Lee's property, yeah. There's a proposed pathway that's gonna go through that way to that land. And, I don't think we're gonna be getting tangled up with public shade tree issues on that property. But I would recommend, if the trees are healthy, keep them, because they're old and they're good shade. Not the ones along the roadway, sorry. If they've tabled, they're probably not good.
Yeah, I would recommend everybody to take a ride over there, and you can see the chains that are holding up these trees
So,
over the wires. And whatever you guys decide, I just wanna have the conversation, you guys can send me an email, what we can do, what we can't do, and then we'll go from there. I think the last thing I'd like to talk to you about is on the right side of the house, so the front of the house. If you're standing in the front door, the right side, my goal is to put I don't know,
oh, like
what would you
the,
call a rock wall?
the wall.
A retaining wall. A retaining wall, because where it is,
Over
right
here.
there.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
okay with that, because that's not gonna be visible.
I don't think
From the
that's,
public way.
yeah,
If I pull here, let me switch the things again.
And the reason for that is nothing more than it's a very steep
I think
drop
you're just maybe barely,
There it
this,
is,
so
yeah.
I think,
right there. That's where it is, right?
so our bylaws say something to the effect of, terraces, walks, driveways, stuff that's substantially at grade level is exempt. I think a retaining wall here would be exempt, but I'm not, I'm not concerned about it. I don't know if anybody else has strong opinions.
I don't think it's really gonna be that visible, I think.
So I just want to confirm then with what you're saying,
Conditions.
is that I would be able to rip up the pre-existing cement slabs, and I can put a new stairway, because it is ground level.
Where for the entrances, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I feel like I remember looking at those, they were in rough.
Yeah, I'm trying to just think of what we've done in the past, if we've, I think I mean, replace them with
Granite.
like a granite piece, or it was granite, but then there was something, didn't Rich do something too that he rebuilt, but that was wood though, right?
No,
That-
no, I think it was granite.
I mean,
So I,
if what's there is already concrete, personally,
I think it was a wooden porch, right? It was like a
It's a wooden
dilapidated.
porch, completely
Rotten.
rotten.
Yeah.
this like entrance way.
Mhm.
Let me find the Zillow pictures.
Yeah, it wasn't in great shape.
This thing, that I won't probably let me zoom in, but. No, I guess that's not gonna work.
And nobody's asked this question, but I'm not gonna put shutters on there, again, to keep the original look of the house.
That's fine.
So talking about this thing that apparently is.
I wonder if it might be good to have like a sketch that, you know, everybody can agree to, that, yeah, we're good with this wall, these windows look great, you know, these are coming out in terms of trees, and that way everybody's on the same page, everybody agrees to the same thing, and, you know, there aren't any hiccups.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Well, I'm confused with that, because we just identified that I can remove all the trees that we want. We just identified that the ground level is not part of the historic district, and that's written in code. So the only question that is really gonna be is the windows, which have been agreed upon, that we're gonna have the 6, whatever it is, over there,
6/6.
6/6. So I'm confused as what sketches we actually need outside of the fence. And then the fence was already agreed upon also.
I think it'd be really helpful for people.
It looks like the windows are
There's storm
open,
open.
yeah, they're like half open
You
there,
can see
and I
what
think
you're
on the
doing.
other side. There's like a mixture, if I recall, I think some of them were 6/6, and then you had some that were like 2/0.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
I-
trying to remember, but if you wanna
I wanna
just keep it
see them.
consistent, looking at the old picture, 6/6.
match what,
well, you don't want 6/6 on the small windows, do you?
That's what I'm saying, you can have 6 on the top and you
Yeah,
can
you-
bottom window as in.
you would.
What
these-
small windows?
These
The
are
one to the right.
windows. They're not in this other picture.
So the far right are big windows. Let's go back to the
Yeah.
other picture, please. So the addition of the house, which we're gonna call,
These,
those are bigger windows than the 2 to the left of that. Go to the left.
these,
The front anyway.
Yeah.
I can't move this very much.
So you can, I would keep it consistent, you're gonna have some windows that are bigger, 6/6, and some that are smaller, 6/6.
That's
I
what you
have
want. I
it in
just-
my house, that's how I have it, it looks great, and I wouldn't worry about it, it's not gonna.
Whatever you guys
Cause when
say.
you start to mix and match, it looks kinda,
I just think if you're gonna have a window this big
Pull this up.
and you're gonna have 6
where is
frames
there a
in
window this big?
that, right there,
Yeah.
right there.
Look that
Yeah,
way.
but you're not.
It's pretty big.
Let me get this.
Okay.
That is right, it's actually pretty much standard size.
I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm easy. I don't wanna have any problems.
No, I'm just trying to give you advice, I wouldn't mix and match, I would keep it.
Is that double
consistent.
door there that you wanna take out, looks like
This is,
there's
I'm
a
trying to
double
zoom
door
in
there?
on these.
Yeah.
Well, that's, so with these weird double windows, but are these, so that's what they are?
I mean, like if there's like a,
I don't know.
if there's like a, if there's like a little attic window up top, maybe whatever, but I'm just saying like,
Mm.
for the first and the second floors, keep it to the 6/6. And
That's
it
fine.
looks like the third floor actually has a full-size window.
Mhm.
I just can't see it.
Yeah, this is,
Yeah.
so I guess I'm confused, so is this 2 windows here?
Yeah.
Yes, they're just, it's like
Double
a
windows.
mold,
So we're asking him to
individual,
Yeah.
each side is 6/6.
Okay.
It's just a mold,
Got it.
they're, yeah.
just make sure we're clear on what's,
I know what's not.
Right, I know.
and then here's another, so these things, and you can,
Yeah.
Actually, Dan, can you go back to the other picture, please?
this one?
Yep, scroll in, please. Good. See that where there's call it a 4-foot drop. That's where we want to put it.
Yeah, that retaining, there's,
Right,
a- yeah,
Yeah, I think that,
retain that, so.
So again, just for clarity, it's safety.
yeah. that's-
Yeah, I don't think anybody's questioning
It's
that.
gonna make it
Yeah.
look much better.
Yeah.
Just going over, because I believe her name was Kathy, she wanted to do these sketches and.
Well, we'll go through each one of these items though when we're done and make sure we got everything. I think-
So if you guys don't want the fence, we'll take the fence totally out, it'll be cheaper for me.
Are you guys all fine with the 6/6, or do you think he should just do like a 2/0?
No,
I don't know.
two, I was thinking nothing over two.
That you pretty much have right now.
Yeah,
I can't even see what's
You
going
can
on
even
in
have a
this picture
6.
because it's
You
like,
can even have a 6 on the top, or 4 on the top and have the flat on the bottom. So most of the houses have that.
But again,
Yeah.
let's all understand, guys, again, we're looking at a fairly current picture with new windows in here.
Yeah.
So whatever is here now doesn't mean
But this is, yeah,
what was there.
what was there probably was the 6/6.
The 6/6.
And I'm perfectly happy doing that, I just trying to call a spade here, we're looking at pictures that are either from the mid-80s or something from the early 1900s. Either way works for me, again, the goal is just to fix this thing.
So can we just confirm what the plan is? We still have to talk about the door, but so this entryway, you would rebuild this but keep the same design? Like this porch structure with this column?
that door gonna stay?
Yes, why not?
Or we're not, do it, that's what we need to just decide what we're gonna do with that.
Yes, to look wise, yes, of course.
You know,
But,
we do that concrete, I think,
Yeah,
again, it sounds like that's not,
what are you gonna do with concrete steps?
yeah,
concrete or granite?
Whatever you think.
I mean,
granite, right?
Granite would look a lot nicer than a
Yeah,
couple of
much better.
concrete.
Wait, hold on, but that's not from the 1900s, I wanna be very clear,
It's a granite.
and I'm okay doing it, but.
Well,
we're
wait,
gonna-
in fieldstone, you wanna move fine fieldstone?
Well, I just
in there?
look at, I'm trying to make a joke with this.
You actually like fine fieldstone under that rotten wood.
I bet you're right, I
porch.
would.
It's probably.
But I
under
just
there.
wanna be clear, I have no problem putting granite, but we are changing the look from the early 1900s.
A
Alright,
lot
so
of
here's
our
the-
old houses had like a granite slab.
It was like
the
a
step.
fieldstone granite, it was a little
Well,
rough,
it was-
yeah.
So
So
I'm happy, that's what I wanna do,
For
but.
compliance with the town, you might not get away with like your permitting if you wanted to throw in like a rough fieldstone. Here, so you might need a granite.
It's already rough.
Yeah.
That door is gonna stay, right?
this entryway
It's not
is.
that door. I'm putting a new door in.
Yeah.
No,
that's like a
but that
storm door.
entranceway
And
is-
Yes,
Is there, behind it, there's an original wood door that stays, or are you?
I apologize, I cannot answer that question. but
Inside,
More likely than not, the door is gonna change altogether.
yeah, it's a pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think if I remember, and then these two, we can only see the one, these had like wood doors and the storm doors, and again, I think storm doors aren't regulated.
And I want the committee to know that I am happy to let you guys come to the property before you make your judgment call. Because nothing on the outside is gonna be done until the inside's done.
What are they gonna do? We could walk it. What do you guys have?
Yeah, we just need to be mindful if there's more than a quorum, it needs to be a posted meeting. And then the last question was.
We're just trying to not drag this out for you so that you
Exactly.
can move
No, and
on
I
and.
agree. I appreciate it, but I just
If
want,
we continue this, then we're gonna have another hearing and then.
and I just want you guys to know I'm willing to work with everybody. I just am trying to do the best case scenario with the town and the historic district in rejuvenating this house.
I think Deb is right, Nick.
So these two doors, it's this door on the left, you wanna completely eliminate.
I say throw, I know you probably don't wanna hear it, but I say if you wanna get rid of the door, get rid of the door, but I'd like to see a window under it to keep it, look at the window up top. Otherwise, you're gonna have, it's just gonna be top heavy,
Mhm.
throw a window in, and it will
Okay.
look fine.
We'll put the window on there, right there, which you do.
You already have a hole.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Might as well frame
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we
Okay.
can frame the
That
window.
one-
Great, so you add a window.
I'm okay with
There you
this.
go.
Yes.
We continue.
Look on my.
We can, I'd like to go through everything and summarize what we came to and.
Alright, let's
see
go
if-
back to your
Just
Microsoft
to make
Word
sure
doc
we catch
there.
everything. Oh, hang on, let me stop this. So, for the windows, we're fine with replacement vinyl windows, 6/6 to match the historic, oh, hang on. Somebody just commented that I can't read. I may have missed this, is this gonna be a multifamily rental?
Yes.
So it might be, but that's not something that's
That's
within
not-
our purview,
yeah.
so whatever they do that's allowable by zoning.
Right, that's up to him and the
That's-
building and the zoning department.
And actually, I guess maybe before if there's any comments from the public or
Yeah.
Kathy, if you had anything
Thank you
else.
very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
All right, so 6/6 vinyl for all the windows. We have no concern over the garage doors. For the fencing, we're fine with the front. The front and the side would be the smaller fence and then the privacy fence in the back.
I think you just need
And I'll
to,
mark it up. But-
just need to be specific by saying, instead of saying front smaller, it can't be
So how would
Block.
you, so we would want a fence like
a split rail or a picket or something.
so front, small,
I would imagine you would wanna do a split rail.
And is it okay for it to be white?
Yeah.
yeah, we can't really get the color.
Yeah.
And I'll clarify as we discussed, so it's gonna be the front closest to Maple Street, the side,
Mhm.
and then the back and
He's gonna,
rear of privacy, okay. Landscaping, trees, we have no say over. The,
maybe just email him the warden or something, so he has his contact.
yeah, I can send you, if you wanna
Yeah.
talk to Ted Steves, I don't know if he'll even, it's private property,
Right,
so.
that's true,
Yeah.
alright,
I'm just saying, he's more than welcome to come over
Has
and
time.
take a look at it, so everybody is comfortable.
So the retaining wall is okay.
Yep.
And then
siding, I think, I don't
what
know,
is the position of the commission on siding? Are we saying, I mean, it sounds like he's laid out two options for us that either he'll replace everything with vinyl siding or just paint what's there. So I think it's up to the commission to decide.
And I don't need a decision now, you guys can get back to me on that, because the siding's not gonna be done for probably at least a month.
So I think, and then the last is the
do you wanna
question.
reconvene on the siding?
Yeah, so the way this works, our options here, if we close this hearing, so we would continue this hearing to a future date, and I think we need to set that date.
So
right
he
now.
wouldn't be able to get any of this
We won't
going.
issue anything until, we don't issue anything until we close the hearing.
Kathy, do you have any feedback on that? Or do you guys just wanna come to a decision on the siding?
I think it's up to you guys, right?
Do we have to make a decision right now tonight?
We don't, I think from the purposes of the district, you know, there's only so much we can do. So we certainly can't stop him from painting what's there,
No, we can't stop him from painting, but.
And we can't order him to
to.
you know, right, so. I think our options are, one, yeah, so yeah, if we wanna pick another meeting date, and I also don't wanna hold this up too long.
So let me be very clear with everybody. If you wanna postpone it, you know, a month, I'm okay with that, because that's probably when I'll get the inside done, I'm hoping. And then I'll be looking to do the outside. So if you wanna postpone it a month, and you guys decide during Memorial Day and whatnot, and drive by the property and all the other houses that are around there, including the housing authority, and make your decision, I am perfectly happy to allow that, or not allow that, extend it for you guys to make your decisions. But the way I see it, there's two options.
I would recommend that you do another meeting in a month, so you have a little time to absorb everything.
I agree with you,
I don't
Kathy.
Push it that far out, so in terms of meeting
What
dates,
about 3 weeks?
uh,
Go out a whole month, that seems,
we're gonna run, so I mean,
I'm busy.
we're reaching a time of year that I'm gonna be swamped, so I don't know, I mean,
Alright, what about June 9th?
Yeah.
no,
Monday, June 9th?
I'm not available any night from the 8th to the 21st,
Alright, what about,
unless we meet during the day.
let me, hold on, because now I have to go into 2 calendars.
I mean, we could meet the first week of June, if I don't know
Could we
which
meet
time.
during the day? Is that, no, that's not good for you, Deborah.
I can meet
I think-
during the day, just depends on what day and what time.
Kathy, you could meet late in the afternoon, right?
Kathy's not on the district commission, so technically,
And Nick here.
we don't need her, it would be nice to have her input, but, and Christina, are you available?
You're
Or?
both on the district commission now?
I'm available during the day for now, but that could possibly change.
What about,
How many do you need?
Four,
for Wednesday the 4th?
no, four people,
quorum on the district?
yeah, either boards, because there's 7, so either
Okay.
quorum is 4.
Okay.
So we could meet, if we wanted to meet that week of the 2nd, the 9th, I mean.
Fine.
One of those days, or.
I
we
could do later in the day on Thursday, and I could do
Thursday, the what?
The fifth, or I could do Wednesday, maybe we meet during the day on
I
Wednesday.
could do either one.
I'd love to meet during the day.
So Thursday the fifth, Wednesday I can meet, but I need to be probably done by potentially 4 o'clock.
Are you working midday?
I have the 4th and the 5th fairly open,
Okay,
so.
So what about-
The 4th I can do after 11 o'clock, and the 5th I'm available all day, currently. So we can get something on the schedule, that'd be great.
what about on the fourth at, 2 p.m.? Is that too late for you?
Nope, that works for me.
Fourth,
Fourth I have
yeah.
availability, it's the 11th.
Ruth, fourth at 2 p.m.?
Yep.
Getting
I may be able to call in.
Totally fine, but
So,
as long, I mean,
excuse me real
really,
quick, so we're talking June 4th
Right.
at 2 p.m.,
p.m., same location.
same location, right, Tim? We'll be able to, we'll let you know
In this
if,
building.
for whatever reason.
In this building to be determined.
Okay.
If it's like
Most likely-
downstairs.
Most likely in this room.
So with that being stated, just so I don't have to waste my contractor's time, do they need to come at all?
No,
All
I don't
right,
think so.
Rodrigo, do you wanna see, he printed out different things that he was gonna put up. Do you guys wanna see anything?
Yeah.
If it's,
Sure, yeah, they printed it out, that's good.
This is-
We're holding out on us.
Yeah, okay.
And this is the spec of the wall, if you.
That's what we were talking about, seeing some specs over there, seeing some.
So that's all the specs of the walls, like.
Oh, yeah, no, it's like,
It's
It's
under
like-
4 feet as well, so.
but yeah, there, so you're saying, oh, you're gonna do like the back patio there, or is that the walkway?
Yeah, it's just the wall, it's just a kind of example.
Yeah. And again, I think we're all in agreement, again, I don't even think I know that we're in agreement, so that the wall is, that retaining wall is. No one's gonna say anything about it, it needs to be there, so.
So if I understand correctly, the only thing in question right now is the exterior
Siding.
siding / paint, correct?
Because we're all pretty much agreeing on the fence, but I think we're not officially coming to an agreement until we meet again on the board.
Yeah.
are you okay with the door, the removal of that door, replacement of the window? That was the other.
Yeah.
Removal of the door is good, replace it with a window.
I mean, I'll type this up and clean it up.
Yep.
But, so it just sounds like the siding, I mean,
I think my question is, what front door, because the front door is gonna replace.
oh, yeah, I mean, that, I think, depending on what's happening with those entryways.
So if you wanna just get us the specs
If you
for what
show
front
us-
door you plan on replacing,
I think that's something the commission would
I
want to
don't know
see.
what you,
Yeah, we can get it, we can do it.
or just like, where you order it from.
Yeah.
Something in kind of keeping with
We don't expect it to be a replica of what was there, yeah,
So
but
what-
some.
can somebody give me an idea of what?
If you look in our design guidelines, which are public, Dan,
Says much about doors, though, because that's another,
we do,
um,
doors, right here.
originally or historical significant doors should be retained wherever possible. Replacement, if necessary, should match the existing door or doors in material, size, design, or location. Original or surround details.
You wanna just read replacement of
Replacement of
non,
non-architecturally significant doors, replacement doors should be appropriate to the style.
we kinda left it loose, but we're just saying something that makes sense with the house, you know, if you wanna put on, we're probably gonna cringe if you tell us you're gonna put on one of those metal doors with like the triangles or something that's like barricaded, but I'm sure it sounds like you're gonna beautify the house, right? So you're gonna pick a cute door.
I'm happy to let you guys tell me what, within reason.
Within
We're talking a little
reason,
clapboard here, which is
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous, but, listen,
it.
I'm Miss, I'm happy to sell the house to you if you want to buy, and if you want to put clapboard and whatever doors on
We're
there,
just trying to retain the historical.
I understand that, but again, my point is that we are at least 100 yards off the main road.
But it's still a historical.
well, we can reconvene on the fourth and, you know, everyone will have time to digest and, you know, maybe if you guys wanna pop by and.
And if the answer is the door's an issue, I'll just leave the door up there and then we'll keep the
I think you're
siding over
gonna find
there.
an
and
affordable
I am
replacement
more
that's
than
gonna
happy
look
to
great.
keep everything how it is if you guys are dead set on this house being as far back as it is in the historical district, and I will do whatever you guys want. I'm happy to make everybody happy.
All right, you got that form?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Fill that
type
in
this
up.
up and send it out in Word. I'll clean this up and send it
Okay.
out when I have time.
So we'll convene on June 4th at 2
I'm
PM.
gonna post that right away.
And then, so how do we adjourn this since we're not coming?
So we're
to
just,
it?
so I would just make a motion to continue this hearing until June 4th at 2 PM.
Okay, and then just to be clear again, so my contractors don't need to come because there's not gonna be any real
No,
questions.
I just asked that if, when we come again, that you have a spec for the vinyl and a spec, whatever vinyl, you wanna do vinyl, right? So bring a spec, show us, maybe a little sample of the vinyl, convince us. So do that, and then, hopefully in the meantime, you consider or price out maybe just doing the front. If, I don't know, and then, if you can get a spec for the front door. And I don't think that there's anything else.
You
Maybe
can bring
just,
us a picture of what you.
yeah.
I would assume I'm not bringing the door in.
No.
Yeah, picture of the door, I'm just saying, you get like, go to Coopman's and get a little piece of vinyl or something if you
Yeah.
want. But yeah,
So can I ask the committee for maybe some direction as to what type of vinyl you guys would,
I mean, we're never
Well,
gonna
you
encourage
understand.
vinyl, but if you're dead set on keeping the maybe asbestos, then if it were me and I were in your position, I would try real hard to convince the people that are telling me no, and I would bring a sample so that we could maybe make a better decision. That doesn't mean that we're gonna say yes. And I would also try real hard to get my contractor to give me a price
Yeah,
for
get some
the
quotes.
facade.
Mm.
In a
Well,
different material.
I am happy,
Maybe there's
so,
something out there.
I understand, I'm happy to let everybody in the committee to find, as you're saying, get a quote,
Mhm.
to get a quote on what you guys think is acceptable, because as long as it fits my budget, we'll call it, I'm happy to do it. But if it doesn't, I will just paint what we have. And so getting quotes is always nice to say we get, but depending upon what we're talking about doing, it might be out of my price range, or price range that I'm willing to put into this. So I am more than willing to work with everybody, but, there's gotta be some kind of,
I understand, you have a budget and you have to keep with them.
and I do wanna make something clear, because I know, this little lady had brought it up, what am I planning on doing with the house? I am planning on keeping it and renting it out. I have only sold, in the last 10 years, 0 rental properties that I have. So if somebody comes in and says, hey, I wanna buy this beautiful stately house that I renovated and use it as a single family house, I'm happy to sell it. But I'm not inclined
You're
to
not
sell
trying
it.
to just flip it.
That's not the goal. But again, if
It's
the
a
right
nice
number comes
long-term
on,
investment for you.
Yeah, we understand that, yeah.
All right, so you've made a motion to
Yeah.
continue this hearing,
So
I
hearing.
second that. All right, so I would say you're free to go.
perfect. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for these, we appreciate it.
And Dan, could you just email me whatever you guys are,
Yeah, I'm gonna clean this up and
Looking for-
send it out.
so just because I may forget, so I know we want to get a sample of the door. And
It's gonna be a
of-
sample, yeah, like an image of the
Yeah,
door.
no, right, I understand that. I'm not gonna bring a door.
But like the siding, I feel like the siding is the biggest thing for us, right? And so anything,
And again, if you guys know of siding that you'd entertain, I'd be happy to see it, and I will strongly consider going with it, as long as it's reasonably priced.
alright, yeah, we'll do some homework on our end.
If you want to, again, just trying to make this thing as seamless as possible.
We appreciate that.
Sure.
Alright,
Listen, I thank you very much for your time. Obviously, this has went a lot longer than I anticipated, so I hope it's not ruining your evenings. But thank you very much for all your time.
we all had wild plans. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Make sure I save that.
So do you wanna go through the minutes? Are we gonna approve the minutes?
Yeah, did you get a chance to look at the minutes? So we good with
That's
them?
okay.
Do you want to-
Probably not. You wanna just throw those on the
You can approve them all.
Yeah,
Alright,
let's do
let's
that.
just
Get rid of them, but.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Somebody has thoughts.
So
If you have
we
any
get
more.
motion to approve the minutes.
Yeah, I would,
Make a mo-
all right, so you just made a motion to approve the minutes.
make a
from
motion that we approve the
These 3
minutes
dates.
of
April 22nd,
April 22nd,
hang on, February 10th and January 13th.
February 10th, and January 7th,
13th,
13th.
yeah.
Oh, that's I wasn't here that day.
So then,
All those in favor?
I, all right, I will post those. Thank you, Christina.
The only thing with them right before you post them, just make sure there's a footer at the bottom, and after I sent it, I realized that the date hadn't changed. I didn't like edit it.
Yeah, I'll fix it. It's probably different on the second page too.
Yeah, because
I see.
after I sent those 3, I moved forward, starting to realize I needed to change that too.
No worries, yeah, because I'll put the approved date and then I'm gonna turn it into PDF.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Alright.
That, and then I think for district, that's it. There are no new applications. There was a site plan review for ground mounted solar at 35 Washington Street, but that is not within the historic district.
Whose house is 35?
Something with a K.
Is that the one I told you we just got today?
Yeah,
Is that for the commission?
no,
So
I
why
just,
did you send it to us?
she sent it out to everybody,
Oh,
because that's
okay.
the new,
Just
just trying to, hey, it's a public hearing.
Who's 35?
It's, where's the K? Michael Crowalk is the owner. It's next to 31, so it's literally right outside the district, but. Anywho,
put them in the front?
on the side, I believe, on the left side, if you're looking at the house.
Of the roof.
Oh, no, on the ground, ground.
Ground.
What is it, does the
You're
town
looking at the
have,
whole can of worms
does the
we're
town
looking
have,
to do.
the town has no,
So from my limited, if it's resident, this is residential, so it's for the house. They need a site plan review. And I don't know what conditions they're allowed. So I don't know why they're putting it on the ground and not the roof.
And you can definitely see those solar panels up at that.
Well, we need to, he was supposed to plant around them, and I think we need to send them a letter and have a chat with them. And I actually wonder in the future, we might even go as far as to consider requesting a bond or something to ensure that certain work like that gets done. Because I think the solar company came to us and now the solar company's gone but promises were made.
we can shoot them a letter and maybe they'll throw in a couple plants.
Try and deal with that, yeah.
I mean,
So that's it.
solar's tough.
Well, and I
But
think
I
it's,
feel like the town as a whole needs to have better regulations with the residential.
yeah, but it's also borderline preempted at the state level.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see it fully preempted.
But it's just that with those, I mean, we made.
At some point.
Yeah, we made specific stipulations that they needed,
Do what they want.
yeah, they wanted to,
So what is the good of making rules, you know, if you don't,
Yeah.
if you're not gonna
well,
stand by
that's it, like, we're not here to be like,
the police, but still.
no, but like, we're also like, the whole purpose of meeting
Mhm.
here is
Mhm.
because we represent the district.
Right,
So we have to enforce what's in the
and I
guidelines.
don't think it's gonna cost him that much more to put,
No, he's being stubborn, he's just trying,
Yes.
he's just trying,
he wants to get his own way.
yeah, well,
I can just imagine how many people
So
would be
this-
looking at that.
This-
right, we,
Mhm.
well, we're still on, yeah. So
I
anyway,
guess, that's a zoning.
yep, again, that has nothing to do with us, so we'll move on. Are we good to adjourn this meeting?
I think there was some stuff for historic,
Kathy,
but we can adjourn, you can leave.
Kathy's got something to
Wait,
say.
wait, wait. I just wanted to add, and I know this is not my business, but in the future, when we have somebody that's proposing, major alterations that we really can't wrap our heads around, it might be good to meet with them ahead of time and tell them, bring the specs to the meeting so we can visualize what you're proposing.
So
We
because
did tell him that,
Okay, so he came with nothing.
We met with him and then since there were a few emails back and forth asking what was needed to be brought to the meeting and they were advised to bring samples of what they were looking to do, photographs, sketches. You know, I don't think we need them to do engineer drawings, but certainly
No.
some
Right.
level of
I mean, like when the Dudleys came,
what they're looking for.
they brought us.
Right.
So they had that because they were rebuilding,
Right.
completely rebuilding, so
But
they
still.
had to have the
Right.
engineer and architect.
Right,
I
but still.
understand why he doesn't have architectural plans and engineered, I get it. But you gotta bring something for
Right.
us, something that we can visualize, something that's tangible for some of it, because
Mhm.
you gotta convince the room, make your case. So anyway,
And we have enough people that have, have made proposals, agreed to things verbally, and then come around and done something completely different. And
Yeah,
it's the
right.
only way
Exactly.
you can hold anyone's feet to the fire by saying, okay, well, this is what you gave us. What, how did it go astray? So it's really for the district protection.
right, and I think and if we do approve any of this, we need to be very specific as to what it is
Right.
and list
Yeah.
it.
Do they have to sign anything after we,
Well, we issued our certificate, which is basically our order.
The certificate, and it's gonna
That they have to
itemize,
abide by.
okay,
yeah.
so,
yeah, which is why we want some sort of specs. So that we can
Yeah.
include those in that.
mhm.
So you had a certificate.
Well, especially
of
as we
solar
Get
Yeah.
more.
ground, and they.
Yeah, so
And they did
they were
propose it.
supposed to use some sort of a shrubbery, which we
Right.
said to keep it,
Conditions.
And that was in the
yep.
thingy that you.
So now we'll send them a letter because
Yeah.
they didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
We get life happens, so we're gonna send them a letter as a reminder.
Christina, did she do that?
Look at the,
I don't know how to word it. Christina?
Christina, can you chat GPT a lot? No, I'm just kidding. Christina,
Yeah.
did you wanna put together the letter from the historic district so we can send it out to the Washington Street people? Just a
Sure.
reminder that they need to add I don't remember the language that we specifically used in that.
I'll have to look at what the certificate said, but I believe.
We can send
it's
emails.
Effective, what they were supposed to do.
Okay. I just did that one recently, like the minutes wise.
Oh,
So I
perfect.
feel like it was something about just screening it
Screen
with,
it, yeah.
yeah, it was like the wording of screening it. And I don't know if we actually put like I don't know if we put with
Yeah,
plans. I'll have to go back.
Proposed work, commission determined the certificate of hardship would be issued due to the condition, blah, blah, blah. The commission recommends screening plantings around the panels where possible to screen their view from public way. So that probably wasn't worded the most strongly.
We can't use the word recommends,
I believe.
but we can we?
I believe our intent was that they needed to put screening around that, so I would certainly send them a letter regardless, and,
Yeah, so maybe moving forward,
but.
less passive aggressive words like recommend and something more
Look at,
enforceable. Can we do that? Can we
Yes.
really enforce? Because the whole word guide.
well, no, this bylaw is enforceable and has
Okay.
penalties.
Okay.
Whoever
I'm just like,
whoever
from a
violates
legal
provisions of this
perspective,
bylaw shall be punishable by a fine of up to $300 per each offense per day.
Okay,
The problem is when something escalates to the fact that you start involving town council and lawyers and letters, then it starts to be the conversation of what's worth the fight.
okay.
Will we be supported?
And so in this case, because we use the word recommend, I don't think that it can be, we'll ask
I would say,
Christina.
I would send the applicant a letter, let them push back,
Yeah,
let them say no, and then we can
Right.
deal with it then, but
yeah.
I would still send them a letter. Let me see what we actually voted on though. What meeting was that? Oh, I could look at the document.
Speaking to that recording stuff.
Oh, I know.
Date completed,
We adjourn this meeting,
March
are we ready to adjourn?
there's some historic items that we need to talk about for this next session. I don't see the meeting minutes for that in here, so. So the next date. I'll have to research this later, but anyway, yeah, so for the historic commission, I don't know, I just put a few things on here, about the record room. I don't know if we really want to get into all this right now. I don't really have any time to do much with the record room. We get a proposal from JJB. I was trying to find out from Jeremy if we needed to go back out to bid or if we could accept his proposal because it was part of a change order, or if we have to restart the procurement. The HVAC, we do have 3 prices on. And then I contacted a pest control company and they're coming out on Friday to just do a survey and if there's any recommended treatments, because we do have some money to use up by the end of the year. And I know we had done powder post beetles there years ago, but.
So what is the amount that's remaining in the account that needs to be used up by the end of the year? Does anybody know?
No, a couple $1,000s.
So what do you think the pest company's gonna probably cost, like what, a few hundreds?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you have, what if you took the remainder of that and did a sign?
Well, so we need to replace the sign on the library next door,
Okay.
but I don't know if we have draft language or if I should just have her do a circus sign with the year that was up there. I think that would be something we can get done.
Just trying to think of anything, like what about like a entering historic district sign that we talked about years ago?
Yeah, I just.
You know, cause I think the reason why we held off is because the state was supposed to come in and they were gonna redo 16 and we figured at that time we would do it, but if there's money in the account, you might as well use it before the end of the year, cause then what, it just goes into some extra
General
fund.
fund. So the problem here is we have to figure out what we want, spec it out, and make that decision by July 1.
Mhm.
We can't put any sign on the 16.
Fiscal year, we gotta use that.
So we have some time. But if somebody wants to go back and look through things, I think that all stalled out because it was, what are they gonna look like, who's gonna install them,
Yeah.
where are they gonna go, and then.
it was like, oh, the state's coming in, so you might as well
Yeah.
just hold off and
I mean,
wait until they.
Right, any signage on 16, basically is not an option without a whole bunch of.
Is that triangle at the garden, there's like an overgrown at Route 16,
Mhm.
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's throwing up the sign.
Yeah,
I always wonder, is that a vine or is that just a?
bittersweet, strangling it. I don't know, I haven't looked close enough lately. But why not take the money from that and maybe we can like revitalize is that not part of the district? Can
What?
the commission do that?
I don't know what you're talking
Where are
about.
you talking about?
The triangle.
Where the water used to be.
So that's going
That
away.
was 16.
That whole island's
That
gonna-
whole island's going.
Yeah.
That's.
So I have begged and begged and
That's
begged
why
to get a
it's-
complete
So
set.
let's say, it's very much, I'm like, come on, every time I drive by.
No, there's no point wasting any money on that.
I
'cause
die a little inside,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
And I think that's why the line, it was Colleen doing the line, but
They just stopped, what's the
Exactly.
point, what's the point, yeah.
and Civil War is gonna get basically reconstructed and adjusted.
What about something in Founder's Park?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Maybe.
a bench or something, like you're in the historic, like
Yeah.
anything, you're gonna have like $1,000 remaining, I feel like you should
So,
do something.
A bench would be nice up there.
Right, a little bench in the park,
Mm-hmm.
sure Hazel will love it.
unless somebody can find something and price it out and figure out what it's gonna look like. and-
That's a lot of work, Dan.
Right, I mean, we get $3,000 every year for stuff, so it's not.
I
like
know,
it's-
I'm just saying, I would hate to not, I feel like
I just don't know if there's anything else
This thing's
outstanding.
you guys have it, so you might as well use it, right?
What about those flags, like you see hanging? Let's say.
We had thought about doing that, but those, so the veterans program takes up a bunch of those poles.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But that's not the historical. Not the
Which,
historical. And why can't we have those poles that are in the historical district? Why do they have?
So why don't we do this?
so we have to have a conversation with them about it, and
They're
I,
really not for the veterans.
well, so they are actually changing that program significantly and coming up with a different approach. I believe they're gonna actually try to put pictures on them, when like other towns do.
They haven't been because they're advertising businesses.
Yeah, I think
I want
talk,
to see the American flag.
talk to Tom Fichter sometime, I think there's some plans to address some of that. I know that's been a concern that other people brought up too.
I'll talk to Tom about that.
I mean, I think if we could identify like certain telephone poles, like that are at the entrances of streets, maybe, because I don't think they fill up every pole, so maybe you could put up something on certain ones of them.
Well, I mean, you could put them up around the historical district. I mean, they could still use Providence Street. That's not a historical district.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we, when we reconvene on June 4th, each and every one of us should bring at least an idea of something, and then we
Use that
can,
money.
and then we can talk about it,
Yeah.
and maybe we'll have,
We would need to meet with John Dudley about those signs, because I think that, have to figure out the competing interests there. That
right.
They're not a decision.
How are they attached to actual telephone poles?
They're
Is it
brackets.
attachment? They're brackets.
They're brackets, fiberglass
Well, like
rods, and then
maybe,
the thing
and maybe
slide.
that's not the
Yeah.
answer, right, maybe it's something else, maybe that's, again, we're not gonna get approval before July or
Yeah.
something for that, but
Well, we had somewhere I have all the stuff, we looked
Yes.
into all those signs and researched some
I
of
think I
that.
had emailed Karen from Science
What's
Plus,
his name?
and, yeah.
I think he had found some stuff that other towns have done.
Like Whitensville has got some nice signs.
Yeah.
Well, right, go into we'll take a drive through the Grafton Historic District, what do they have? They have a beautiful district, Holliston has a beautiful one, and get some ideas.
But I was even noticing today when I went through Whitensville.
Northbridge, yeah,
Yeah.
they've done a nice
I
job.
will, while Kathy's here, are there circa signs that need to be replaced that are in need of funding? And I know the society's kind of doing that. And I only mention that because I think that has been a huge help to the district. When somebody buys a home and it has one of those signs on it, then they say, oh, wait a minute, this is an old house. So if there's any of those in need or need of replacement that we could kick in towards, would be, I think, another potential.
Doesn't the realtor have to tell them it's a historical district?
Yeah, but
Right, he didn't have a buyer's agent.
what I find is that cues the real estate agent to pick up to call us, like that, there's a property on Providence Street that's up for sale, that's real historic, and she came in and was asking Ellen for all sorts of history and information.
I have to look it up, but a lot of times when you have investors who are coming in to pick up a multi, they think that they're gonna do so much better by just going straight to the listed agent. They don't get representation,
Oh,
they
okay.
think they know
So
what
you
they're
think he
doing,
did, yeah,
they don't, or they use their buddy who doesn't know they don't care.
I know. That's.
You know, and that's why I said, buyer do due diligence, because it's just like, it's like beating a dead horse sometimes, but you gotta know what you're buying, and you have to do your research, and it's unfortunately not our.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, there's
Right, right,
properties.
we cannot tell him, yes, fine, it was fine, when you just told somebody else that it was not.
Right.
That's gonna,
But as long as we don't.
But he can, he can just paint what's there and walk away from it.
He can.
So,
We told
Yeah.
Dudley so that they had
it
to.
doesn't- well, yeah,
They were rebuilding a whole structure in the front.
Yeah, they had no choice because they were completely replacing what was there and
Yes.
expanding.
Yeah.
But
So
they
you
could
have
have
to
left,
do
they could have
something.
left all the exterior siding on that old house and not touched it.
Yeah.
And just said, we're
No.
not changing it.
Yeah,
But I mean, but they're keeping the front,
Right, well, that was the compromise, right, which I would think,
so.
unless it's gonna double his cost, which I don't think it will, at least price it
I
out.
don't,
see
and
what
I
it looks like.
understand he's buying this house to rent it out. I understand he doesn't wanna do cedar siding because he's gonna have to maintain it, and when you're an investor, I'm sure Kathy can speak to this. You don't wanna have to deal with painting the siding on your multifamily every so many years, I get that. But he bought a house in the district.
Yeah, people like that make me nervous.
Yes, me too, Kathy.
So is there anything else that we want to adjourn, if we're good?
Dan, can you send me your takeaway notes from all of that? I was trying to keep up with all the decisions, but I feel like it bounced around. So I just want to make sure
He's got
everything
some
I've
notes.
written is correct.
Well, I'll send you the team's recap, but then I'm gonna type up the notes for the hearing certificate and send that out so we can make sure we didn't miss anything prior to the next meeting.
Yeah, the hearing is, that's what I was looking for.
Okay, I will clean that up. So, all right, so I guess a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.